So we're working on a 2013 Cadillac ATS today. We're working on the PCV system, which is the positive crankcase ventilation system. This particular vehicle is turbocharged, so it's a little different from regular PCV systems. It has three PCVs. So you have one right here on top of the valve cover, and then you have one right over here on the side of the valve cover, and then one right here on the front of the valve cover. This one is the LTG valve PCV valve, and this is the rear PCV valve, and this is the front PCV valve. So in the next clips, we'll go into how they're all different and how they affect the vehicle differently.
We are looking at the PCV systems. As we can see, we have three PCV valves, and this one is the front, which induces fresh air from the air cleaning box here, induce fresh air to the engine. And this one is the PCV valve LTG. The dirty air from the engine comes from here back to the engine to here, back to the recirculations. And also is the primary control is through the PCV valve LTG valve, which meters the flow at a rate depending on intake manifold vacuum. And the PCV valve rear is calls PCV valve, also called PCV valve 3. If abnormal operating conditions occur, the system is designed to allow excessive amount of flow by gases to backflow through the crankcase vent valve into the intake system to be consumed by normal combustion.
Okay, so we have this little hidden valve back here. This is part of the PCV system. It did not say anything about this valve, but we did find out. This one is the one that's actually pulling vacuum. It's connected to the brake booster, so we know it's pulling vacuum. And we will do some testing on it later as well. This one is pulling the bad air out of the actual engine. This is going back into the intake to be recirculated back into the combustion chamber. For this one, when we thought this one was pulling the bad air out of the engine, but this one is actually just a control device. It's actually saying how open the PCV should be or something like that. We're not completely sure, but we'll do a little more research on it. We're going to do some testing in the next clips to see how the PCV system is actually operating.
Now we are testing the clean air intake to the PCV systems. I'm gonna disconnect this hose here to see is it really sucking fresh air through this hose to the PCV systems. Now we start the car. We can see the I'm gonna disconnect this hose right now to see is it really sucking air from this hose. Yes, I feel it's sucking air, but not very strong vacuum.
So one more test we're gonna do today is checking the dollar bill test. So it's a pretty easy test. You're gonna take off the oil cap, and you are going to place a dollar bill on the top of it. Now this should apply a very light vacuum, but it should not suck the dollar into the actual engine. Okay, so now I'm going to actually perform the test, taking off the oil cap, and you can see it's kind of keeping it on. It's being a little weird, we're not exactly sure why, but it's definitely sucking vacuum if you hold it on there a little bit. There you go.
Today we are working on this 2007 Ford 500, and we are looking at the EGR system, the exhaust gas recirculation. And here we found the EGR valve here. Yeah, right there. Yeah, this is our EGR valve, and you can see the vacuum line here. There are two lines, the red one, the red line, and the black line. And the red line is the vacuum supply line. and the black one we don't know yet. In next clip, we're gonna explain how this EGR valve working.
So here we're going to talk about some of the specifics of the actual EGR system. This runs on an ESM system, which is a system module type. The valve type is a vacuum diaphragm. You can see the number 8 right there is actually the diaphragm. You can see right there, number 8. The sensor type is a pressure differential. So the pressure differential through the exhaust gases are testing the different pressures of the EGR and the intake system. And then the control is the vacuum solenoid. Right on top is the vacuum solenoid. But the vacuum regulator, which tells how much vacuum is going to go into the actual EGR valve, is duty cycled, so that means it is PCM operated.
We're looking at the pinout of EGR valve connector. So for the pin 1, it's EVR, that stands for EGR valve regulator. Pin 2 is reference voltage, we believe that's 5 volts. And pin 3 is the map sensor signal, it's integrated to the EGR. Pin 4 is voltage supply in start and run, we believe that's 12 volts. And pin 5 is DPFE, that's flow sensor. Pin 6 is signal return, that's our ground.
Okay, so we're plugged into the EGR vacuum regulator right now, all the way back there. It's kind of hard to see, but we have it right in there. And we are going to ground that terminal. And hypothetically, when we do that, the engine should stumble when it is running. So we're going to test that right now. Okay, so now that the car is running, I'm going to take the other lead and ground it, and we're going to see what happens. Oh, yes, it did. You didn't hear it. There you go. So I'm grounding right here on the strut tower. And it killed the car. That's cool. Okay. So, yeah. That's about the end of our testing.